I can't say things out loud, I paint them.
Making things gave me proof I existed.
Joy is not linear.
The minute I stepped on the stage, I was like, oh, this is for me.
I feel like I feel joy all throughout my body, in all of my movement.
Buckle up and be ready for the ride because it's a fun one.
Queer joy is just getting to exist as yourself.
The essence of queer joy is getting to be your authentic self in community with other people being their authentic selves.
I don't think you can experience gender euphoria and not feel joy.
I think our transness helps us access joy in ways that other people can't.
Queer joy feels like it is joy in defiance.
It's dancing during the AIDS crisis. It is making dinner for your partner, even though nobody else knows that they're your partner. It is in a world that takes so fucking much from us, holding it at bay and taking something shiny for yourself. And my queer and trans joy as a historian is inseparable from my blackness.
It shifts what feels like it's possible.
If joy had a costume, it would be covered in glitter.
I wasn't given a blueprint. I had to build one.
There was a certain point where I made a shift and I was like, I want to enjoy this for myself.
Art is sometimes feels like the reason to live. And creating and making things is how you survive. It's how I survive.
Without drag, I wouldn't have never allowed myself to feel joy in the way that I do now.
Drag has definitely been something that has saved me and has been something that has allowed me to see a future I did not see, right?
It's the reason I get up in the morning, is to make theater.
Theater saved my life.
Yeah.
So when we think about performance as survival, taking up space, boldly finding the joy in that, boldly claiming that this is your life is wonderful and freeing, but it is deeply dangerous.
I think that there's no way to separate transness and performance.
Drag has always been this playground, this safe playground for me to figure out what is my gender expression, what are the things that feels affirming to me. And it's how I came to then eventually understand myself to be non-binary, to be trans femme.
Do I think every person does some form of drag? I think by existing, we do some form of drag.
When I think about my drag as being political, I think about my intersectionalities, being a queer, Latin, trans person here in San Diego especially.
I needed to see another black person or queer person, or God forbid both, to suddenly imagine that I could exist in the future.
I'm trying to challenge us to see drag as a vessel for change. And I feel like with my drag specifically, over the 12 years I've been doing it, I feel like I've shown people that it can be.
We have a problem in theater where the norm and the standard is white, cis, straight. And to be trans and to be, I would call myself visibly trans, I don't hide my transness, feels like a really rare thing.
I feel like drag is a big fuck you, a big defiance, a giant pushing back in the most beautiful way.
Clothing has always been revolutionary and political.
As Maya Angelou said, Black people have known how to live on the head of matches and how to take all of our grief and rage and turn it into style.
If drag were a love letter, I think it would be addressed to all of the people that came before me.
There have been queer and there have been trans people as long as there have been people.
And as long as queer folks have been creating art, which is all of human history, there has been a particularly comedic element to the art.
Queer history is more than just struggle. Queer history is absolutely a lot of struggle. But queer history is also about joy.
If there's no joy, there's no hope.
When we make a decision or we have an opportunity to engage in joy from a psychological perspective, it actually shifts our body out of a survival response. It shifts our body away from that fight, flight, or freeze. It shifts our body back to a place where we can engage in relationship. From a psychological perspective, the idea of queer and trans joy isn't just resistance, but is also physiological healing to the nervous system. Joy and play as well, which is part of that play and that pleasure, is the opposite of being in survival.
It is a choice that I make every single day. I make it every day because I recognize that if I don't choose joy, I will die. And I refuse to let the system kill me. I refuse it.
To be visible is to be vulnerable. To be seen is to be named. To be named is to have the potential of violence done against you. So joy has constantly been a form of resistance, not in this neoliberal-ass sense, because I think joy can be then marketed as a thing that we're just supposed to slather on like sunscreen.
For a trans person to feel joy in the midst of everything that's been going on is an act of resistance. It means we are powerful.
I think especially with this administration and the political climate that we're in, to experience joy despite the horrible things that are happening in the world is kind of the only way that we can get through it.
In a world that wants trans and queer people gone, experiencing joy is an act of revolution. Whimsy and joy are an act of revolution in times that try to squash who you are. I'm whimsical. Like, you cannot contain me. It's like, no, my whimsy shall be shoved in your face. Fuck you.
It's not about just feeling good or writing in your gratitude journal. It's about actually choosing to exist in a space that was never meant to have you, and choosing to find that an existence can still be sweet, even if people don't want you there.
Joy is not just an incredible experience, it's resistance, and it's modeling to other people that joy is your right as a human being, not something that you've earned.
The oppressors want us to be sad because sadness makes you inactive.
And they get upset when we are happy.
We think of ourselves as pleasure activists, a la Adrienne Marie Brown's book, Pleasure Activism.
Because we, as a community, we've been taught that we are not valid in our existence, the idea of pleasure feels like it's something that we haven't earned sometimes, or it feels sinful.
Be in a room full of queer friends. Oh my God, that is the best thing in the whole wide world. That's like, I think that's what life's about, actually.
I don't feel like I can be an artist without community.
Theater and community create joy. And the more that theater is accessible, the more that joy will be accessible.
I agree.
And community is also the goal, to create community in this time where people can feel so isolated.
Joy individually is absolutely different than joy collectively. Joy collectively resets our nervous system at a larger group, in a larger group way, as opposed to us experiencing it individually. We would not have survived as a community for thousands of years if we had not come into relationship with each other. And I think that's what community does for us. It shows us what's possible.
The House of St. James meant just a safe zone, a safe space for me to curate all my artistic expressions within drag, as well as just, my gender expression and helping me out with who I was as a person outside of drag, right?
Community is so important because everything I do is rooted in and powered by how is this going to affect the community, or how can I have a positive effect on my community. I've always understood that taking on the role of chosen family is a sacred thing. I've had so many people tell me that my drag has saved them, that my drag has inspired them, that what more could I ask for? That what drag did for me, it also can do for other people. I can't do this by myself, and that's just working to burnout. And
Joy shows up when I stop hiding.
I think where I create space for joy is by creating space for softness, creating space for me to be vulnerable.
To choose joy in a world that frequently denies the validity of your existence is beautiful.
I want other queer and trans people to know that joy is attainable.
The most beautiful thing is a trans person who knows themselves.
And how incredibly joyful and beautiful is it to get to fully create a life exactly how you want it to be?
Joy is always accessible, even if we don't see it.
More than anything, what I would say to a young queer and trans person that doesn't feel like joy is accessible is to find community.
The whole world needs more trans joy.
This is the shape.
This is the shape.
This is the shape.
This is the shape
This is the shape
This is the shape
This is the shape
Of our joy.
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 of our joy.